I'm Andy Beachley, consultant for Carper Limited, and welcome to Rick's Lake. This lake is part of the PB Lakes complex, one of 3 lakes, 2 that are open. The main lake, the jewel, which is PB Lakes, where I've spent most of my year fishing on. I've had a great result this year on that lake. I've had 3 East Yorkshire 40s from there, I believe 8 or 9 30s out of there this year, numerous 20s. It's a great water. It's got a great head of 30s and 40s. And then next to PB Lake, Rick's Lake was developed more for a social aspect, really. The footage will show you a little bit more about the lake, but we've got a small bullnose island with essentially 5 pods on, with a central sit-down area and a barbecue, and it's just somewhere where you can come, get plenty of runs, have plenty of bites, and have a good social, a good catch-up with your friends. And then the final lake, which will open next year, is the lake at the Black, which is condensed down to 2 to 3 anglers, and that's called Blackwood, which will be a bit of an easier water. But overall, the complex is phenomenal. I love the place. Rick Leone is a great, genuine guy. You've got Neil Clark as the head bailiff on the water. He'll always answer your questions. He'll always come around for a chat with you and always try and put you on spots. The whole ethos of the lake is they want people to catch and do well, so they'll spend time with you. It's a day ticket, but members only. But you can, if you know members as well, you can book on for socials and do full lake exclusives and have the socials on any 3 of the lakes. Full facilities, do on socials, they'll do barbecues. There's a local chip shop, which will do chip shop runs. There's plenty of local shops and amenities around. Complex has toilets on it, working showers on it, so it really has everything you could want as an angler. Start our session. We're on PB Lakes in East Yorkshire and we're fishing Rick's Lake, the social complex. Got down to the lake late. It's been a bit carnage on the bank getting everything set up and get done, but we've had our first one. We're off the mark, 25.6, all caught on the sweet corn range, which we'll go through a little bit more over the weekend. But yeah, our first fish, 25.6. All part of Carper products, which are sold exclusively at the lake and on the sweet corns range. Really happy, great start, and hopefully a few more this weekend. So second fish of the session, same spot, a clear spot that we've got on the right hand side where the wind's blowing into, pushing into that bank. It's clearly a feeding area, it's clear, and this fish came after a quiet night. I had a quiet night because essentially I dropped short of the spot, not knowing that, you know, one of them ones, it was late. We had a long day setting up yesterday. It dropped short of the spot by about half a wrap, 3/4 of a wrap. Nothing. This morning got up, freshened up, put it on the spot where it should have been, and within an hour it had gone. So it shows the importance of making sure you're on them areas and catching. Sweet corns range again. Been eating the boilie, the particle, all with the syrups and sweet corns boilie. It's left us a load of stuff in the net, what's coming out of it. So yeah, hopefully many more to come. Bait application on the session. The lake on Lake Exclusives allows bait boats. There's no denying that you're getting better numbers on this lake from using a bait boat. I'm not a particular fan of bait boats, but you know, you cannot deny when people are catching on them to use them. But one of the things that puts me off a bait boat is how compact the bait is. It almost looks a little bit alien, so I don't like to put much in the hopper really. And then if I can do, I'll try and apply bait through either spomming or throwing stick or walking around and applying if I'm into the margins and fishing on that side of it. However, recently I have purchased one of the bait boat pods WBS systems and applied that to my bait boat, and yeah, it simulates the fishing that I want to fish. The spread on the bait is phenomenal really. You get a really good rotation of bait, and I'm fishing particles, so small items, pellet, boilie, chops, and you'll see it in the footage, the actual spread you get. So I'm much happier with that. It means that I know that the fish are grubbing around more, got to work harder in the swim, looking for food, and it's well spread out rather than as a tight parcel. And it's proven this weekend. We've had captures for both myself, Chris, who I'm fishing with, who's also filming. He's actually done more fish than me, and they've all come off the rod where we've been using the boat with the spreader, or over that spot in particular. The other two spots he's fishing on bags, he's had a fish on them, but on fishing on that particular style, he's done more fish by that application, which shows it works. So fish number 3, 19 a couple of ounces, caught off the same spot, so that spot's starting to work now. All on the sweet corns range, sweet corn 12mm dispersion pop up, sweet corns, fish over sweet corns chops on whole boilies, particle and pellet, which are being mixed with the sweet corn syrup, the Energizer gel, sweet corns oil, and the new IQ Active. The product I'm going to talk about today predominantly is going to be the sweet corns range. I've fished the sweet corn range all year. I haven't swapped from it, even though we have plenty in our range. I have so much confidence in the bait and the product, so I've used that throughout of my fishing this year. The boilies, I tend to fish it as a match the hatch approach, so I'll either fish it with the dispersion wafters or the dispersion pop-ups. I'll mix that with pellet and also particle. Try and show a little bit of particle that we're using on this mix, which you can buy from the lake, and that's been absolutely loaded with the Energizer sweet corn syrup. We've got some of the oil in there. This, which we're looking to release next year, which has been fantastic for me this year, is the Active IQ sweet corn range. That in the particle is a combination between the syrups, how it passes through the water columns. You've got food items passing through the columns, and whilst it's also on the floor and it's on the lake bed, this Active IQ liquid is with a heavier fat content, and what's in there, it stays at the bottom. It's every time fish move in and start disturbing the swim, it reactivates and causes a load of disturbance and gives off nothing but flavours. And my approach has been pretty much that. It's been fishing a lot of boilie, quite a bit of mixed particle with the flavours and additives added in. So yeah, all my fishing this year has been on the sweet corns range. The dispersion, wafters and boilies, obviously are a high attract bait as it is in relation to what they leak out of them once they're into the water. So also to enhance my either bottom baits or when I'm fishing wafter baits or off a normal range, I'll use the isopine liquid, pour that in, give it a good shake, let that sort of draw in, do that over 2 or 3 week period, and then again really let it absorb and get right through the boilie. But I also had our high attract powder, sweet corns powder, to dust and coat them and give them a shake on that. So when they're in the water, you get that initial bit of enhancement with the powder slowly starting to wash off it, and then you get the long-term leakage of the isopine liquid. Within my pellet and my range, these are fantastic because it gives you the boilies sweet corns flavour that I've already got that they're feeding on in there, but a different shape and size of bait. So we also do a boilie pellet, so it runs through, it's the same mix as what's in it, it comes through our boilies, same flavours, but we put it through a pellet machine, and we have these pellets to add with the boilie range. I'm going back on to the instant attract sweet corns powder, added to a PVA bag with our sweet corns micro pellets, with a small dispersion wafter or pop up in there. Absolutely deadly for fast bites, especially if you're casting to showing fish. So either the Flora Energizer gel or the Sweet Corn Energizer gel, both on in the sweet corns range, added to the sweet corns micro pellets, various sizes in there from 2 to 4 mil, with the active powder. Just give a little bit of extra enhancement by adding these to the bag. So we're just playing our 4th fish on Rick's Lake, and what a nice sunset to be playing a fish until the evening with. Great complex, owned by Rick Hewland, Neil Clark supporting as a bailiff. You want for nothing on this place. And on this lake in particular, if you wanted a bit of fun and a social with your friends, nice barbecue, a couple of drinks, generally take the mick out of each other, you couldn't pick a better place. Biggest of the session so far, 27.7. Another Rick's Lake stunning mirror, and hopefully this continues. This one off a different spot, but same bait application. So the baits, obviously I fish for Carper, I use the products, I swear by the products. Sweet corns range is my favourite in the range. I've had great success on it ever since I've been using it. This year was no different than any others, but this year's been particularly good using it. I've had 40s, 30s from East Yorkshire. I've had 80 plus from Euroaquia and a 60 plus from Euroaquia. I'm about to go to Parco, which I fished last year on the same products, and I had an amazing week. Took 60s again from there. So it really is just a great bait, whether you're on small social water like this, catching 20s with the odd 30 potentially, or whether you're at the dizzy heights of Euroaquia, that bait just seems to work everywhere. This session we've predominantly emphasised on the sweet corns. We also do a spicy nut range, we do an RS range, and we also do a shrimp and garlic range. I fish with all the products and all the baits, and for an example, I use shrimp and garlic on this lake, on PB lakes, for quite some time, and in its young days when it was first dug. It's a brackish water because it's run off the estuary drains, how it's been filled over the years, and it was quite a cloudy, brackish water. So the sweet corns have to go, have got to run. No way. Always the case when you're trying to film and do a little bit of narrative, one of the rod screams off, but we're not complaining. This session's been slow by Ricks Lake standard. I think the recent pressure drop that we've had and that changing over into autumn probably an effect of that till they adjust, because it always fishes well. We've still done a few fish, but one of the advantages you can have bar fish in this lake is when they are on it, you can have multiple hit-ups and have a really good session, really. And especially if there's a few of you on the lake, it can be quite competitive and a lot of fun. That's been left, mate, and it since yesterday morning, that. Goes to show though, doesn't it? If you're not getting them on the bait, just leave it because it's not getting it. And again, this is on a dispersion pop-up, so it's been out for 30 hours and still popped up, still presenting, still working. There was no point adding any more bait because the fish clearly weren't on it yet. There was enough bait out there. But that bait's still working as a dispersion pop-up does, still leaking, still letting flavour, leaking flavour, and we've now got a fish from it. New duty. Last fish of the session for me on Ricks Lake. What's been a great weekend. I've had fish up to 27.7. Hope you saw plenty of products on the range on the video. If you can do, book onto the lake and catch some absolute little stunners like this one. And I say little, I already go up to nearly 40 pound in here. And if you can get onto PB, it's due a 50 very, very soon. So through fishing with Carper, my role within Carper has predominantly been within product development. I work with Ken Dack quite a lot, who works on all of our bait mixes and ingredients and basically ideas of what we want to release and come out with. We speak with the rest of the consultants. We'll always ask them kind of what we'd like to see in the range and what we can use. And we're going to a long series of testing till eventually we can get something that we think is market ready. We'd then give it out to the consultants for them to try, probably for a season for them to try on it. So for this one in particular, this Active IQ, the sweet corns IQ, we did the sweet corns first as it was in the range, because that's predominantly all I've fished with for the last probably year and a half, 2 years solid, and coincidentally had this for about that same period. I think between me and Ken, we'd multiple batches of it to try and get to the final solution of what we was both happy with, from shelf life, how long it's going to last, for how it actually works in the water, to how it applies, even down to the size of nozzles and bottles of how you're going to apply it into your bait. This Active IQ liquid has been sensational for me this year. I've used it all year since we got to the final product. I've done, for East Yorkshire and East Yorkshire waters, I've done 3 40s this year. I've done numerous 30s. I've gone over to Euro Aqua. I've had 80 plus from there, plus 60s and 50s. So all using this, adding this to my mixture. I really recommend it. It works fantastically in your bait. It really does enhance your bait and stays within your swim for quite a significant period of time. To watch the underwater footage and the tank footage of this, of how it reacts, how it's constantly moving, is yeah, it's going to be great for the range. I think everyone within the team are content with this and looking forward to see it going to market.